You want to win? Good, listen carefully. Success isn't an accident, it's a weapon. From the moment you decide to fight for more discipline, more money, more respect, you begin a war against excuses. The first words out of my mouth to you are simply stop apologizing for wanting greatness. That's the hook. Plant it in your mind and never let it go. The world will offer you comfortable mediocrity. What you must demand is discomfort that turns into dominance. Here's the truth nobody hands you. Most people are trained to accept limits. They're comfortable with small dreams and smaller efforts. You must refuse that training. Work harder than the algorithm expects, far beyond what your peers consider reasonable. Get up earlier, study longer, invest smarter. There is no mystical secret. There is only consistent, ruthless effort. When others sleep, you prepare. When they complain, you act. This is how you turn ambition into trophies. Listen to this hook. Results do not negotiate. Talent is nice, but hunger always wins. You'll meet people who tell you talent matters most, that life is fair, that timing is everything. Those are excuses disguised as explanations. If you want to kill them with success, earn every inch of it. Make your life proof that excuses are worthless. Let your bank account, your physique, your status, and your discipline be the answer to every doubter. Actions speak louder than opinions, louder than noise. Be so relentlessly productive that criticism becomes irrelevant. Discipline is non-negotiable. You must build systems that outwork willpower. Schedule your days like a general plans a campaign objectives, resources, contingencies. Sleep and recovery are part of the strategy, not indulgence. Train your body because a strong body steadies a strong mind. Invest because financial independence buys time and options. Read because ideas compound. The small, boring routines done daily are what create spectacular outcomes. This is the backbone of success. Another hook for you, surround yourself with winners or get used to being average. People are contagious. The habits, the talk, the energy. If your circle normalizes excuses, you will catch those excuses. If your circle celebrates action, you will catch that instead. Choose associations that demand elevation. Be the kind of person that awkwardly outperforms a room and forces people to either step up or step aside. If you lead with results, followers will come. If you lead with talk, you'll only attract more talkers. Fear is inevitable. Surrendering to it is optional. The moments that matter will always be discomforting. Speaking up, investing, starting, leaving. The quick win is to stay safe. The long win is to leap. Convert fear into a metric. What is the worst plausible outcome? Plan for it and then do it anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action with fear still present. Every time you act despite the fear, you gain leverage, leverage that compounds into opportunities others never see. Let your life be a statement, not a question. Success should be offensive, not in violence, but in magnitude. Live in a way that removes the option of being overlooked. Build capital, social, financial, intellectual. Protect them like assets because they are. When people doubt you, let the doubt be fuel. When doors close, build your own. When people sleep on you, wake up earlier and climb higher. Appearances matter only insofar as they reflect results. Be immaculate in presentation and ruthless in performance. Now, a final hook before I close. Do not seek permission to be great. Permission is a myth created by people who fear being surpassed. Greatness requires no invitation. Take it, command it. Become the standard people whisper about, then they will shout your name. The work is lonely sometimes. That's how you know it's real. Embrace the loneliness. Let it refine you. Remember, the greatest victories are those nobody expected you to win. Stop apologizing for wanting greatness. That's the first rule of winning. The world will tell you to be humble, to be realistic, to settle down. But deep down, you know that voice isn't guidance. It's fear disguised as wisdom. The truth is, mediocrity has become the new normal, and society punishes those who dare to rise above it. The moment you decide that you want more success, more power, more control over your life, you immediately make people uncomfortable. They'll call you arrogant, obsessed, or crazy. But that's the price of being uncommon. Never shrink to fit a space you've already outgrown. You weren't born to blend in with the crowd. You were born to stand out, to lead, to dominate. Here's the hook: the people who call you too ambitious are the same ones who will one day ask how you did it. So stop explaining yourself. Stop waiting for validation. Success doesn't require permission. When you apologize for dreaming big, you hand your power to people who have already quit on theirs. You have to decide, are you going to fit in or are you going to rise? You cannot do both. Greatness demands that you be misunderstood for a while. Every visionary, every self-made winner, every giant who ever built something extraordinary, they all faced resistance before they earned recognition. Your ambition isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's your spirit refusing to settle for less than it's capable of. You don't owe the world an apology for wanting to see how far you can go. The real arrogance lies in wasting your potential just to make others comfortable. Every time you downplay your goals to fit someone else's comfort zone, you betray yourself. You dilute your own purpose. The greatest mistake you can make is to apologize for your fire in a world that thrives on dullness. Be the flame that exposes the laziness in others. Let them see what hunger looks like when it's untamed. Here's another hook average people hate: being reminded that they settled. Your ambition shines a light on their excuses, and that makes them uncomfortable. So they'll try to pull you back with judgment and sarcasm. You've changed, they'll say. Good, you're supposed to. Growth requires transformation, and transformation offends the stagnant. You must learn to be unapologetic about your evolution. Never feel guilty for outgrowing conversations that no longer serve your vision. The person you were last year doesn't deserve to make decisions for the person you're becoming. You owe your past nothing. You owe your future everything. This is where mindset becomes everything. The difference between those who talk about success and those who live it is audacity. The courage to want more without shame. You have to program your mind to believe that greatness isn't rare, it's earned. Every late night, every rejection, every painful lesson adds to your arsenal. People will try to make you doubt yourself because they can't imagine working at your level. But your goals aren't for them to understand. They're for you to achieve. You're not chasing validation, you're chasing evolution. Think about it. Every time you hold back, every time you hesitate to speak your dreams into existence, you train yourself to play small. That hesitation becomes habit. And one day, you wake up realizing you've been living a version of yourself designed to make others feel comfortable. That's not living, that's existing. You have to break that pattern with intention. Walk with the confidence that your dreams are valid simply because they're yours. No explanation, no apology. Here's the truth: the world respects results, not intentions. When you stop apologizing and start executing, everything changes. You move differently, think sharper, attract better energy. People who once doubted you will start asking for your advice. That's what happens when you stop shrinking and start showing up. Let your focus be louder than your fear, your discipline louder than your doubts, and your results louder than every critic. So don't ever say sorry for wanting more. Say sorry for ever pretending you didn't. The next time someone calls you obsessed, take it as a compliment. It means you're doing something right. Let them talk while you build. Let them doubt while you work. And when it's done, when your success stands tall and undeniable, their opinions won't matter. Because by then, you won't need to kill them with words. You'll kill them with success. Discipline over motivation. That's the code. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that never goes out. Anyone can feel inspired for a few minutes after watching a video or hearing a speech, but the real test begins when that feeling fades. That's when the weak quit and the relentless rise. You can't rely on motivation to carry you. It's temporary, emotional, inconsistent. Discipline is the difference between wishing and winning. It's the structure that keeps your ambition alive when enthusiasm dies. The moment you understand that, you stop chasing moods and start building systems. Here's the hook. The most dangerous habit in life is waiting to feel ready. You'll never feel ready. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Winners act first and adjust later. They train their minds to do what's necessary, not what's convenient. Discipline is self-respect in motion. It's proof that you trust your future self enough to sacrifice for it today. You wake up, you show up, you do the work. No negotiation, no excuses. That's how legends are made. Think about this. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you consistent. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is logical. You might be motivated to hit the gym one morning, but discipline is what drags you there when your bed feels warmer and your body aches. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It commands you to move regardless. That's what builds momentum, and momentum builds results. When you rely on motivation, your progress becomes inconsistent. But when you rely on discipline, your success becomes inevitable. Here's another hook. You either control your habits or your habits control you. Every day, your actions cast votes for the person you're becoming. You're either training yourself to be stronger, sharper, and more resilient, or you're training yourself to stay weak. Discipline isn't punishment, it's liberation. It frees you from the chaos of indecision. It turns goals into rituals and dreams into blueprints. While others are debating whether they should start, you're already 10 steps ahead because you don't wait for inspiration. You operate from conviction. The truth is, discipline is built in the moments no one sees. It's not glamorous. It's those 5 a.m. alarms when your eyes burn, those extra sets when your muscles scream, those late nights grinding when your friends are asleep. Discipline isn't about loving the process. It's about respecting it enough to do it even when you hate it. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs need excitement. Professionals rely on standards. Every time you choose consistency over comfort, you strengthen your mental armor. You become unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable. Here's a mental hook that will stay with you. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Most people choose the easy path now and pay a heavy price later. The disciplined few endure discomfort today so they can live free tomorrow. Every sacrifice compounds. Every workout, every study session, every focused hour adds interest to your future. You can't cheat the grind. You can't skip the boring parts and expect elite results. Discipline is what turns potential into performance. Success doesn't care how you feel. The universe doesn't reward wishful thinkers. It rewards consistent execution. Discipline is about doing it whether you're tired, uninspired, or uncertain. The results don't come because you felt amazing every day. They come because you acted anyway. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. You must become so committed to your mission that your emotions are irrelevant. Feelings come and go, your standards stay. And here's the real hook. When discipline becomes part of your identity, success becomes automatic. You no longer force yourself to act. It's who you are. You train because that's what you do. You work because that's who you've become. You're not chasing motivation. You're driven by mastery. That's when you become dangerous, because consistency compounds faster than talent ever will. While others rely on luck or emotion, you rely on routine. And routine never fails. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't look for motivation. Look for responsibility. Look for that quiet voice that says, I don't care how you feel, do it anyway. That's the voice of discipline, and that voice is the one that changes everything. Every champion you admire didn't build their legacy on mood. They built it on method. Keep showing up. Keep pushing forward. Keep doing the work. That's the ultimate flex. Not hype, not talk, but relentless discipline. Because motivation might make noise, but discipline builds empires. Let your results be the loudest response. The world is full of people who talk, but only a few who deliver. Everyone claims they're working hard. Everyone says they're on the grind, but very few have the proof. Talk is cheap. Results are currency. You can spend all day defending your vision, explaining your purpose, and arguing with doubters, but none of that moves you forward. The moment you start producing undeniable results, the conversation changes. You don't have to explain yourself when your success speaks louder than every opinion. That's the real power. Silence backed by achievement. Here's the hook. Don't waste energy trying to convince people. Outwork them, outlast them, outgrow them. Your execution will always be your best argument. People doubt what they can't do, not what you can't. Every time someone questions you, it's a reflection of their own limits. They see what's impossible for them, not what's possible for you. So instead of responding with words, respond with consistency. Respond with excellence. Respond with the kind of performance that makes silence your most dangerous weapon. Most people chase validation because they're still uncertain about who they are. They need approval to feel like they're progressing. But real winners don't beg for respect. They earn it through performance. They understand that attention fades, but proof lasts. When you become obsessed with execution, not applause, you shift your focus from noise to impact. You stop performing for approval and start performing for purpose. That's when momentum begins, when you stop chasing claps and start chasing results. Here's another hook: results are undefeated. People can debate your opinions, but they can't argue with your output. They can mock your dreams until you make them real. They can doubt your skill until your skill outpaces their comfort zone. The truth is, your work ethic is a language everyone understands. You don't need to speak it, you need to show it. Every late night, every sacrifice, every moment of effort builds credibility that no one can take away. When people finally see what you've built, they'll call it luck. But you'll know it was discipline disguised as destiny. Stop explaining your moves. Stop posting your plans. Move in silence and let your results introduce you. Talkers announce, doors deliver. When you make achievement your priority, you learn to fall in love with the grind. You begin to realize that results are the real flex, not cars, not clothes, not followers. Because when your results are real, they speak for you long after you stop talking. People forget what you said, but they remember what you did. Make sure your actions echo louder than your voice ever could. Here's a mindset hook that separates the great from the average. Don't respond to doubt. Weaponize it. Turn every insult, every bit of criticism, every whisper of disbelief into energy. Let it fuel your execution. There's nothing more satisfying than watching disbelief turn into silence. Every success story starts with people saying, "You'll never do it." And every legend is born when that same crowd starts saying, "How did you do it?" The answer is simple. You stopped talking and started producing. Results create gravity. The more you achieve, the more respect you pull in. You attract opportunities, allies, and influence not by demanding attention, but by commanding it through performance. Results give you leverage, and leverage is everything. When you can point to undeniable proof, you no longer need to ask for recognition. It comes to you naturally. That's the level you should aim for. Silent confidence backed by results that shake rooms. People will always underestimate what they can't understand. Let them. The longer they sleep on you, the louder your breakthrough will sound. Keep working in the shadows. Keep building in silence. Let your name travel through whispers until it roars through results. Your focus should be on execution so intense that no one can ignore it. The world doesn't need your explanations. It needs your example. So here's the final hook: results don't lie, and they don't need defending. You don't need to clap back when success can do it for you. Keep your vision locked in, your grind relentless, and your progress undeniable. Every move you make, every goal you hit, every step you take forward is another reason you never needed to argue in the first place. Let your results be your voice. Let your consistency be your proof. Because when your work starts speaking, the world listens. And when the world listens, the noise finally stops. Choose your circle like you choose your future, because that's exactly what you're doing. The people around you are either feeding your vision or starving it. You can't expect to rise while surrounding yourself with those who are content to crawl. Energy is contagious. Success has a frequency, and not everyone can handle its vibration. The wrong environment will drain your drive faster than failure ever could. The right one will multiply it. Every conversation, every interaction, every influence is either a deposit or a withdrawal from your future. If you keep letting average people speak into your life, don't be surprised when your results start looking average too. Here's the hook. If you're the smartest or most ambitious person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Winners don't compete for comfort. They compete for elevation. Surround yourself with people who challenge your excuses, not comfort them. People who see your potential and demand that you live up to it. The company you keep either builds your empire or burns your energy. You can't grow in an environment designed for stagnation. Your circle should make you uncomfortable in the best way possible, not because they doubt you, but because they expect greatness from you. The truth is, most people stay stuck because their environment rewards mediocrity. They hang out with people who think small, complain often, and celebrate distractions. You start adopting their language, their habits, their rhythm without even noticing. That's how dreams die quietly, through slow exposure to small minds. You need people who push you, who set standards so high that your current level starts feeling embarrassing. Surround yourself with those who force you to upgrade, who make success feel normal, who don't let you settle for good enough. Here's another hook: proximity is power. Being near-driven, focused, and disciplined people will transform you faster than any book or seminar ever could. When you're surrounded by people executing at a higher level, it rewires your standard for what's possible. Suddenly, working harder isn't exceptional, it's expected. Excellence becomes the baseline. That's why you can't afford to stay in rooms that reward laziness or glorify struggle. You need people who inspire accountability, who make you question your own limits. Because when you're exposed to greatness daily, mediocrity becomes unbearable. But understand this: upgrading your circle requires courage. You'll outgrow people. You'll lose friends who loved the old version of you. They'll say you've changed, and you should. Change is the goal. Growth demands separation. Some people are seasonal, meant to walk with you for a chapter, not the whole book. Don't feel guilty for evolving beyond your environment. You can't climb higher if you're chained to comfort. The cost of success is isolation, but the reward is alignment. You don't lose people when you elevate. You lose limitations disguised as friendships. Here's the mindset hook: loyalty should never cost you your future. Never confuse attachment with alignment. Being loyal to the wrong people is just another form of self-sabotage. Protect your vision from those who laugh at it. Guard your goals from those who don't understand them. You owe no explanation to anyone who isn't helping you move forward. Your time, your energy, your focus, these are investments, not donations. Spend them where the return is growth. The most powerful transformation happens when you consciously curate your circle. Surround yourself with doers, not dreamers, builders, not talkers, believers, not doubters. The kind of people who make success look normal and excuses look foolish. When you talk about your plans, they don't doubt you. They strategize with you. When you fail, they don't mock you. They remind you of your strength. These are the people who keep you grounded in humility, but lifted in ambition. And here's the final hook: the environment you stay in today predicts the life you'll live tomorrow. You can't plant a seed of greatness in a field of complacency and expect it to grow. Your surroundings either water your vision or poison it. Choose wisely. You become like those you spend time with. Their habits shape your reality. Their mindset programs your own. If you want to win, sit with winners. Talk goals, talk growth, talk legacy. Don't spend another second explaining your dreams to people who have stopped dreaming. Be around those who remind you that mediocrity is not an option and that success is not luck. It's contagious. Fear is inevitable, but surrendering to it is optional. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced fear. The fear of failing, of being judged, of losing, of stepping into the unknown. The difference between those who rise and those who fall isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. Fear is a signal, not a stop sign. It's the body's way of alerting you that growth is about to happen. If you want to dominate, you have to embrace fear, stare it down, and convert it into fuel. The moment you start avoiding fear, you start shrinking. The moment you face it, you grow stronger than the challenges themselves. Here's the hook. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. Every time you take action while your heart races and doubt creeps in, you teach your mind that fear is powerless against purpose. You'll feel the shaking in your hands, the tightness in your chest, the knot in your stomach. Good. That's proof you're pushing limits. Every uncomfortable step forward compounds into a mindset that refuses to quit. Fear is not your enemy, complacency is. When you act in spite of fear, you become unstoppable. Pressure works the same way. The weight of expectations, deadlines, and challenges can crush the weak, but the relentless see pressure as a test of strength. Pressure separates the talkers from the doers, the amateurs from the elite. Instead of running from it, lean into it. Let it sharpen your focus, heighten your awareness, and magnify your determination. Every moment that feels overwhelming is an opportunity to prove to yourself that your potential exceeds your doubts. Pressure is a privilege. It means you're in a position to achieve something significant, something others wouldn't dare attempt. Here's another hook: what you resist persists, but what you face transforms. Avoiding fear only gives it power. Every uncomfortable conversation you delay, every risk you avoid, every leap you hesitate to take strengthens doubt and weakens confidence. But when you confront fear head on, it loses its grip. The first step is always the hardest, but it's also the most transformative. Courage is a skill, The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Action is the antidote to fear. The longer you wait, the heavier it gets. You must also understand that fear is selective. It targets ambition. It attacks dreams. The bigger your vision, the louder the fear. That's why most people never reach their potential. They let fear dictate their choices. But you are not most people. You are built for more. Every time you act in defiance of fear, you reinforce your own power. You prove to yourself that nothing external can control your trajectory. Fear only has as much authority as you give it. Here's the mindset hook. Fear disguised as reason is the deadliest form of deception. When your mind whispers that you're unprepared, that it's too risky, that it's too late, it's fear trying to protect you from growth. Recognize it, acknowledge it, and move anyway. The path to mastery is paved with moments that scare you, moments that test your resolve, moments where doubt screams louder than confidence. That's where champions are born, in the space between terror and action. Failure itself is a form of fear, and every fear you conquer diminishes its power. When you fall, you learn. When you stumble, you adapt. Every misstep is data for your next move. The more you practice facing fear, the more natural courage becomes. You stop waiting for perfect conditions, and you start creating momentum despite uncertainty. The world respects decisiveness and boldness, not hesitation and hesitation's twin regret. And here's the final hook. Every time you step forward in fear, you expand the boundaries of what's possible. You become stronger, faster, sharper, more resilient. You convert vulnerability into advantage. You turn hesitation into momentum. Fear becomes a compass, pointing you toward opportunities that comfort and safety will never reveal. When others retreat, you advance. When others doubt, you dominate. Fear is no longer a threat. It's your ally, guiding you to heights only the brave can reach. Make success your revenge. Don't waste your energy on anger, on resentment, on clapping back with words. Those are temporary victories at best. Real power lies in action, in performance, in building something so undeniable that it leaves no room for debate. The people who doubted you, laughed at you, or dismissed your dreams don't need to hear your explanations. They need to witness your results. Let your achievements be the silent, crushing response to every criticism, every insult, every moment of disbelief. That is the cleanest, most satisfying form of revenge, and it costs nothing but your focus and your discipline. Here's the hook. Nothing annoys doubters more than success they can't touch. People will always talk, they'll always doubt, they'll always attempt to discourage you. But success cannot be argued with. Money, status, influence, skill, these are proof, not promises. Every time you hit a goal, every time you outperform, every time you outwork, you send a message louder than words ever could. They wanted to see you fail, good. Now watch them struggle to process your rise. The more relentless you are, the sharper the sting of your results. Revenge through success requires a mindset that turns negativity into fuel. Criticism, rejection, and doubt are not obstacles, they are accelerants. The louder the world says, you can't, the harder you work to show that you can, that you will, that you must. Energy spent plotting payback through anger is wasted energy. Energy spent building, executing, and dominating is compounded. Every late night, every extra effort, every calculated risk is an investment in your future triumph. You are turning what was meant to weaken you into the very reason you rise. Here's another hook. Your competitors and critics will never stop talking, but they will start watching. The moment you commit to excellence, to consistency, to relentless action, you create a force that can't be ignored. Success is visible, undeniable, and contagious. When you build at this level, doubters are forced into silence, skeptics are forced into admiration, and the world is forced to acknowledge your presence. Your victory becomes a benchmark, a standard that others can't help but respect. Words fade, results echo. It's also about timing and persistence. Revenge through action is strategic. You don't reveal everything at once. You build, you grow, you execute, and then you strike with outcomes so significant they leave a permanent mark. Every small victory compounds, every consistent day becomes part of a larger narrative. People may underestimate you at first. Let them. Let their disbelief blind them to your progress. The bigger the doubt, the louder your success will speak when the time comes. That's leverage. That's power. That's strategy. Here's the mindset hook. The best revenge isn't visible in the moment. It's undeniable over time. While others waste energy on gossip, on envy, on trying to pull you down. You are building foundations that can't be shaken. You are stacking achievements that demand recognition. Every step forward, every milestone reached, every obstacle overcome becomes a silent message: you underestimated me, and now you are witnessing what happens when I refuse to be stopped. You also learn that revenge through success elevates you, not them. It's not petty, it's transformative. While they remain stagnant in doubt and negativity, you evolve into someone unstoppable. You gain influence, wealth, discipline, and confidence. You create a life that validates your vision, not their opinions. This is the ultimate power to turn hostility into motivation, rejection into fuel, and criticism into strategy. And here's the final hook: success as revenge is the most elegant form of dominance. It's the silent retribution that doesn't require confrontation, that doesn't rely on words, that doesn't seek recognition. The world will eventually notice. Your doubters will eventually acknowledge, and your critics will be forced into silence. Every achievement, every victory, every step forward becomes a statement: you were wrong to doubt me. And now there's no stopping me. Your life becomes the proof, and there is no comeback stronger than that. So here's the close: stop arguing with your future. Plan like a tactician, execute like a warrior, and measure everything. Kill them with success, not with malice, but with undeniable results. When you outwork, outlearn, and outperform, the world will have no choice but to recognize you. Go build the life that makes your critics irrelevant. Start now.